of the Geek here, and welcome back to another ranking video in the Christmas setup with Addy Jumper. So as you know, this year I've been getting into the James Bond franchise. I've watched all 25 official films. I've still got to watch the unofficial Never Say Never Again. I'm kind of dreading that. And the 1960s Casino Royale spoof with David Niven. But I've watched all the official films, and I wanted to sort of delve into other parts of James Bond. I've got a couple of the books and other areas of Bond, and also the parody world of Bond. So as I said, there was obviously the Casino Royale spoof from the 60s, but Bond has been spoofed so many times. Obviously, there's various cartoons like The Simpsons and American Dad, which have had episodes solely parodying Bond. Even Doctor Who's done a pastiche of Bond with Spyfall last year, but the most famous Bond spoof is the Austin Powers Trilogy, the trilogy of films from the late 90s and early noughties, starring Mike Myers as Austin Powers, the kind of James Bond character. And it's just purely a Mickey take of the Bond films and the characters and the tropes and all that stuff. And I watched them for the first time recently, and I really enjoyed them for the most part. And I just think they are pretty good at parodying. They're dumb, but they're not bad. Well, one of them is. We'll get to that. But I enjoyed them, and tonight I'm going to rank all three of them. So as in every video opinion piece that I do, it's just my opinion. Obviously, don't get your knickers in a twist if you disagree with any of my placements. And, you know, let's just get to it. Oh yeah, behave. That's the wrong quote as well.
No, stop getting Bond wrong!
In last place, by a country mile, Goldmember, the third film in the trilogy and by far the worst. Now, there's a great quote from Return of the Jedi that sums up perfectly why this film sucks.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
That's a perfect way to describe it, overconfident. It's riding off the success of the previous two successful films, and it just goes for it too much, and it goes for the wrong things. Like, for instance, the amount of celebrity cameos is really obnoxious. There's some that work, you know, the very first scene in the film where it's the Tom Cruise as Austin Powers and Steven Spielberg's directing an Austin Powers movie. That's a funny joke. It's a good gag, nice subversion of expectations, you know, good comedy. But then you've got Britney Spears, Beyonce's a star and role as well, the Osbournes, John Travolta. It's too much and it's just obnoxious. But the big problem with the film is that it's just not funny. And that's the worst thing that a comedy can be if it's not funny. There's a couple of times that I laughed, but not much. I mean, not in comparison to the other two. It's either reused jokes, obnoxious jokes, or just distasteful jokes. Like the stuff with Goldmember, him picking off his skin and eating it. It's just unpleasant, and it's not necessary. Also, alright, I get that it's Austin Powers. The story is not the important thing, right? But when it appears that the film is going to try and do some new things with the film, you know, for instance, near the beginning of the film, Doctor Evil wants to explain his plot. He gets captured, and he's kind of he might play a little bit of a Hannibal Lecter role, and he does for a couple of scenes, and then he just goes back to his base. It's do something different with it, you know. And the actual new, you know, the title character of Goldmember is often forgot about, but as I say, it's not really as much of a problem because I just can't stand Goldmember. He's so crap. Yeah, I don't like a lot of the new characters. The old characters are just kind of crap. It's not funny. It's just a really bad film in my opinion. And okay, this isn't necessarily the film's fault, but the whole Austin Powers and Dr. Evil are brothers thing, because in Spectre they literally did the whole Bond is Blofeld's adopted brother thing in Spectre in the Daniel Craig era. It has kind of tainted this film a little bit because it's they're literally robbing from the parody film. It's not this film's fault necessarily, but it does kind of rub you the wrong way nowadays. But yeah, so overall, it's not good. But Michael Caine as Nigel Powers, Austin Powers' dad, is an absolute just top tier character, and I love him. And number 2 is International Man of Mystery, the first Austin Powers film. Now, this film is really good. It's a really fun romp. It's a great homage to, you know, classic Bond films. And it is really fun and entertaining, and it is quotable. These days, it is quotable as all hell. I do like Austin. He's so just weird and out there that I do really like him. And the other side characters, like, you know, Basil Exposition is just class. Vanessa is quite a good, like, sort of foil for Austin, you know, very much the straight man to Austin's, you know, shenanigans. The villains, they're probably the best characters of the film. Like, all of the villains, you know, they are all really funny. Like, Dr. Evil, obviously. I always liked number 2, just because of how straight-faced he is. You know, that's what works, you know, you've got... It's a very classic, you know, straight man, quirky, you know, two sides kind of... It's very classic comedy, but it works. The only reason I don't give it, like, a higher rating is just because it's a fairly simple film, and it's not a bad film, you know, it's simple, you know, less is more, but it was a film establishing the formula, and it doesn't reach the heights that the second film does. Speaking of which, number 1, The Spy Who Shagged Me, the second film of the franchise, and in my opinion, second the best. I mean, who figured, you know, having the title spoof the best Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me, would give you the best Bond spoof movie. That was worded weirdly. But anyway, yeah, this film is the best in my opinion. And because it's everything that worked about the first film, but refined. It's a bit more out there, a bit more adventurous. You know, you've got better humour, it's a bit bigger, but it doesn't go too self-indulgent or obnoxious like Goldmember does. I think this is very much the film that made it iconic, and the film that it boosted it to that next level, and it's the one that people think about the most, I think at least. Like, you know, Austin's obviously great, the villains are once again great, and it's the introduction of a mini-me, who I just love in this film. I don't care, I just think he's great. There's a, you know, funky time travel kind of plot line, I like that. Felicity Shagwell, Jesus Christ. But she's, I think, the best, like, female co-star. I just think she's got that kind of bubbly energy that's, like, it's a bit more... It's more entertaining to watch than Vanessa from the first film, who was very straight-faced, and it's more fun. There are some genuinely brilliant jokes in this film, like the rocket ship joke is just, you know which one I mean, but it's just absolutely just, but it's genius, it's just amazing. And look, this film, you know, obviously, you know, all the Austin Powers films are dumb, but this one, it's just fun, it's dumb, but it's just well made, and I just really enjoy it personally. And that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on any of it? You know, let me know all your opinions and rankings of the trilogy in the comments below. Obviously, be respectful and all that good stuff. Like and subscribe. Click the bell so you don't miss a thing. And this is Clack of the Geek, signing out. Ta-ta.